Welcome back, dear students, to our history class of Standard 9th. Today we will continue with Chapter 2, India, Events After 1960. In the previous class, we have learnt about the major changes that happened in India in the 1960s, 1970s and 1980s. Let us learn about the changes that happened further in India. The changes after 1991. The Soviet Union was a country which existed in Eastern Europe and Northern Asia between 1922 and 1991. The USSR was a loose confederation of 15 republics and Russia was the leader. It was a strong segment with great control over politics of entire world from 1922 to 1991. When it was disintegrated into smaller units, mainly due to Mikhail Gorbachev's economic and political reforms. The rise of nationalism and the desire for sovereignty within various republics proved to be the most immediate cause for disintegration of the USSR. P.V. Narasimha Rao initiated many changes in the Indian economy. Babri Masjid was a disputed structure even during the British time. After 1947, when some temples, for example Somnath Temple, were reclaimed, there was an attempt to reclaim Babri Masjid as well. That time, central government had ordered the lockout of the disputed structure at Ayodhya. Babri Masjid, which means Mosque of Babur, was a mosque in Ayodhya at a site believed by many Hindus to be the birthplace of Hindu deity Rama. It has been a focus of dispute between the Hindu and Muslim communities since the 18th century. According to the mosque inscriptions, it was built in 1528-29 by General Mir Baki on the orders of the Mughal Emperor Babur. The mosque was attacked and demolished by a Hindu nationalist mob in 1992, which ignited communal violence across the Indian subcontinent. The nation came to its senses when India lost its creditworthiness and had to deposit gold as guarantee. Perhaps at that time P.V. Narasimha Rao thought that enough was enough. The nation was spending far too much attention on some ancient structure where neither Muslims nor Hindus were worshipping. It only increased the communal tension in the country. The only beneficiaries were some self-appointed overnight proponents and opponents of the disputed structure. Many people benefited, but the loser was the nation. In the elections conducted between 1996 and 1999, no political party got a clear majority in the Lok Sabha. This resulted in three governments in a short span of time. Those led by Prime Ministers Atal Bihari Vajpayee, H.D. Deve Gowda and Inder Kumar Gujral. General elections were held in India between 5th September and 3rd October 1999, a few months after the Kargil War. The election saw the National Democratic Alliance, led by the Bharatiya Janata Party, win a majority in the Lok Sabha, the first time since 1984 that a party or alliance had won an outright majority, and the second since the 1977 elections that a non-Congress coalition had done so. The elections gave Atal Bihari Vajpayee the record of being the first non-Congress Prime Minister to serve a full 5-year term. In 2003, Vajpayee made a concerted effort to resolve India's long-running feud with Pakistan over the Kashmir region, but was not successful. In May 1998, the Pokhran II tests were a series of 5 nuclear bomb test explosions conducted by India at the Indian Army's Pokhran test range. This was the second instance of nuclear testing conducted by India. The Kargil War was an armed conflict between India and Pakistan that took place between May and July 1999 in the Kargil district of Kashmir. The cause of the war was the infiltration of Pakistani soldiers and Kashmiri militants into positions on the Indian side of the line of control. Indian economy. In 1950, Planning Commission, agency of the Government of India, was established to oversee the country's economic and social development, chiefly through the formulation of 5-year plans. The country's first 5-year plan was launched in 1951. The economic reforms kick-started in 1991 brought about expansion of the services sector held largely by a liberalized investment and trade regime. They also increased consumer choices and reduced poverty significantly. The burden is primarily on the corporate sector and on the rich and the middle class. The foreign investment in India increased. The field of information technology opened several avenues of employment in the country. The changes after 1991 are also described as globalization. Two major events that must be mentioned while describing India's efforts towards self-reliance are: in the late 1960s, M.S. Swaminathan, a plant geneticist, helped design and lead the Green Revolution, a huge development effort that in just a few years brought food self-sufficiency to India, which had suffered from deadly famines for decades. Varghese Kurian, known as the father of White Revolution in India, was a social entrepreneur whose billion-liter idea, Operation Flood, made dairy farming India's largest self-sustaining industry and the largest rural employment sector, providing a third of all rural income. Homi Jahangir Bhabha was an Indian nuclear physicist, founding director and professor of physics at the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. He was also known as father of the Indian nuclear program. He laid the foundation of the Indian atomic power program. India insisted on using atomic energy for peaceful purposes like generation of electricity, pharmaceuticals, and defense. India has achieved considerable success in space technology as well. Aryabhatta was the first unmanned Earth satellite built by India, but launched from the Soviet Union by a Russian-made rocket in 1975. Aryabhatta weighed 360 kilograms with instruments to explore conditions in Earth's ionosphere, measure neutrons and gamma rays from the sun, and perform investigations in X-ray astronomy. Today, India has a successful space program and many satellites have been launched under this program. India has also made considerable advancement in the telecom sector. During this period, there were several major changes in the social field in India. The Department of Women and Child Development was set up in the year 1985 as a part of the Ministry of Human Resource Development to give the much needed impetus to the holistic development of women and children. Some laws were made to ensure social justice to women and to help the implementation of various schemes in this direction. This includes the following: Dowry Prohibition Act, Indian law enacted on 1st May 1961. intended to prevent the giving or receiving of a dowry. Under the Dowry Prohibition Act, dowry includes property, goods, or money given by either party to the marriage, by the parents of either party, or by anyone else in connection with the marriage. The Dowry Prohibition Act applies to persons of all religions in India. Equal Remuneration Act of 1976 is an act to provide for the payment of equal remuneration to men and women workers and for the prevention of discrimination on the ground of gender against women in the matter of employment and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. As per the 73rd and 74th Constitution amendments, seats were reserved for women in the local self-government. According to the makers of the Indian Constitution, some constituents of the Indian society were deprived of dignity and equal opportunities due to the caste system. In order to resolve this issue, a Backward Classes Commission was appointed by the President of India on 29 January 1953 with Kaka Kalelkar as its chairman. The Commission was directed to determine the criteria to be adopted in considering whether any section of people should be treated as socially and educationally backward. In 1978, a commission was constituted under the chairmanship of B.P. Mandal. The primary objective of that Mandal Commission had in India was to identify the conditions regarding social and educational backward classes, to consider the question of reservations of seats and quotas. The Scheduled Caste and Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act of 1981 is an act of the Parliament of India enacted to prohibit discrimination, prevent atrocities and hate crimes against scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Globalization. The term globalization refers to the integration of the economy of the nation with the world economy. It is a multifaceted aspect. It is a result of the collection of multiple strategies that are directed at transforming the world towards a greater interdependence and integration. It includes the creation of networks and pursuits transforming social, economical, and geographical barriers. Globalization tries to build links in such a way that the events in India can be determined by the events happening distances away. Indian society is changing drastically after globalization. The economic policies have had a direct influence in forming the basic framework of the economy. The G20 or Group of 20 is an intergovernmental forum comprising 19 countries and the European Union. It works to address major issues related to the global economy such as international financial stability, climate change mitigation, and sustainable development. The G20 is composed of most of the world's largest economies, including both industrialized and developing nations. BRICS is the acronym coined to associate five major emerging economies: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The BRICS members are known for their significant influence on regional affairs, and India is an important member of these international organizations. India is the world's second largest telecommunications market. The telecom market can be split into three segments: wireless, wireline, and internet services. Mobile phones, internet, and the communication facilities based on satellite have spread all across the country. In the political field, India has demonstrated to the world how a stable democracy can function successfully. All this has had resulted in a total transformation in the lifestyle of Indians and especially the youth. These changes are visible from their dietary habits, clothing, language, and beliefs. Dear students, in this lesson we have covered the major events after 1960 that shaped India. That's all for this class. Thanks for watching.